Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerding with 30. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking why Star Wars should bring back Alden as Han Solo and not Ford. Now, there is a rumor going on that Harrison Ford might come back to play the role of Han Solo in the Book of Boba Fett. But before we get to the video, if you like this type of content, make sure you please share, like, and subscribe. We are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel of Nerding with 30. I do appreciate you very much. We do live conversations on the Endgame podcast, talking about Marvel news on Tuesday nights, live at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we also do the Book of Boba Fett podcast, the podcast of Boba Fett on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. It's a live podcast where you can come in and we have a chat about the actual show and what you think about it each and every single week. So please check that out. All right, so this article comes from Screen Rant, and it says why Star Wars should bring back Alden instead of Harrison Ford. Now, I'm going to read this to you, okay? And then I'm going to give you my thoughts on who actually should come back and why. So, Star Wars has brought back several original trilogy characters in the screen in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett's timeline, and the next best figure to receive is Alden in Richin. I forget how you actually say his name, in Richten, as Han Solo, rather than Harrison Ford. Originating the role back in Star Wars 1977, Harrison Ford has appeared as Han Solo in every Star Wars iteration except 2018 Solo. Now, the Solo film did lose money. It wasn't a well received film, but the Book of Boba Fett is only set approximately 5 years after Star Wars Episode 6. Now, Return of the Jedi, which leaves room for characters in the era in Return after resolving the idea of the original trilogy characters wouldn't appear in The Mandalorian. Now, season 2 finale shocked audiences with the return of Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, taking Grogu with the Jedi. And The Mandalorian de-aging Hamilton is recreating his Luke Skywalker character in this era in which he left many of the fans wondering whether or not a familiar face would appear in the timeline. Now, although the de-aging Harrison Ford as Han Solo would be exciting, the best iteration of Star Wars character to receive is Alden. Okay. Now, the major difference between de-aging Mark Hamill for Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian timeline and de-aging Harrison Ford for Han Solo in the same era is that Mark Hamill is the only actor who has ever portrayed Luke Skywalker on the screen. While many are still lobbying for Sebastian Stan to take over Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian Star Wars timeline, Hamill also returned to work best because he really is the only Luke Skywalker. Han Solo is another story. While Harrison Ford will undoubtedly be the most iconic Han Solo, he's not the only actor to portray him in Star Wars universe. Now, Alden portrayed him in 2018, even though Solo Star Wars timeline doesn't necessarily align with the Mandalorian in the Book of Boba Fett. Now, bringing back Harrison Ford, Han Solo, so soon after the Mandalorian received a Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, also have a far less impact on audiences' shock and nostalgia. Redoing such a monumentous surprise would feel too much like a fan service rather than a genuine wish for Ford to bring back his character. Now, Hamill was being brought back to do Luke Skywalker was extremely special for fans and the actor alike, as he truly has a lifelong connection and appreciation for the character. Where Ford, however, amazing as he may be in the role, he's not as attached as Star Wars character has already been going through. Now, it's possible de-aging return that he's also doing de-aging for Return of the Jedi, or I'm sorry, Indiana Jones 5. The de-aging process for Mark Hamill was also extremely intensive, and The Mandalorian, which suggests it won't have a substantial presence in the timeline. Now, Star Wars can avoid this with Han Solo by bringing back Alden, whose return could also grow and make him more of a cameo. Now, even disregarding the logistics of Harrison Ford's Star Wars return, Alden Han Solo deserves a second chance on Disney Plus TV show. Now, here's what I think should take over. I don't know if a lot of people remember this gentleman right here, Anthony Ingruber. Okay, Anthony Ingruber is a character that, if you guys remember, was like a spinning image, okay, of Harrison Ford. If you guys can't see it, let me bring it back over. Like, this is Harrison Ford, this is Anthony. Now, they could bring this. Now, this gentleman is an actor. He does a lot of voiceover work and video game work in other avenues and stuff. But he is a spitting image of Harrison Ford. Now, if they don't want to do the de-aging process, I totally get that. There are ways around it in the film industry where Harrison Ford could still do the actual voice, and then he just like lip reads over the audio, right? So he would say it exactly how Harrison Ford says it, and then they would sync it up if they really wanted to. Now, again, if I play this clip, he actually sounds like Harrison Ford as well. Let me see if I can get him on the actual YouTube here and see if you guys agree. Like we talked about this. He's got his own YouTube channel.
Han Solo, I'm Captain Millennium Falcon. Courier tells me you're looking for a passage to the Alden system. A fast ship? You never heard of the Millennium
Like
Falcon?
it is uncanny how much he looks like him. Now, he might not be the best actor, all right, in the casting. If you're looking at him, instead of bringing back Alden as Harrison Ford, you could bring back Anthony as Harrison Ford's Han Solo and the right age. I believe this gentleman was born in the 1990s, early 1990s, so he's around 30 years old right now. Harrison Ford's character at the time would be about mid 30s, because it's 5 years after Return of the Jedi. I know he was older when he shot the movie. Not too sure. I think he would be around 35 or 40 around this movie. Now, this would also bring in, if they have a cameo with Harrison Ford, I have a theory that maybe Amelia Clark's character might come back. Kara, is that her name? Kara might come back inside the Book of Boba Fett as well. Meaning, if they bring him back, they wouldn't have to do the de-aging process. Now, again, him acting like Harrison Ford might not work out, but instead of bringing Alden, Alden looks nothing like Harrison Ford. This gentleman absolutely does look like Harrison Ford. And I think the good part of it is that, did Alden do bad job? No, I thought Solo was a decent movie, but again, getting over him being Harrison Ford, it just really just yanks you out of the whole thing. Especially if Star Wars wants to keep it in order. Now, Harrison Ford, the reason Alden works as Solo is because it was a prequel to where we first met him in New Hope in Episode 4. This takes place 5 years afterwards, meaning even though Alden technically was before Harrison Ford's character in the timeline, Harrison Ford is after him, meaning Harrison Ford going forward should be the character that they do. It would kind of be weird if they use Alden in Solo and then Harrison Ford in 4, 5, 6, and then change him back to Alden in the Boba Fett series. Either do the de-aging process or bring in Anthony Gruber into the actual thing. These are my thoughts. Let me hear yours in the comments section down below. What do you think? Would you be excited if Harrison Ford came back and played? Do you think that Disney should do the de-aging process like they did for Mark Hamill for Luke Skywalker? Let me know in the comments section down below. If you like this type of videos, please make sure you please share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.